Can one moment of cowardice become the hidden author of an entire life? And if a person spends years regretting what he did not do, does that regret make him better? Or does it simply become another way of avoiding responsibility? This video discusses the complete story and ending of Khaled Hosseini's The Kite Runner. The novel begins in California, where an adult Amir receives a phone call from Rahim Khan, an old family friend now living in Pakistan. The call does not bring new information so much as it awakens an old verdict. Amir has built a career, a marriage, and a life in America. But one winter day in Kabul has continued to shape him from beneath the surface. To understand why, we have to return to Afghanistan in the 1970s. Amir grows up in a wealthy Pashtun household in Kabul. His father, known simply as Baba, is physically commanding, socially respected, and admired for his generosity. In the small house behind Baba's home live Ali and his son, Hassan. Ali serves the family, and Hassan grows up beside Amir. They share games, stories, pomegranate trees, and the winter skies where boys fight kites with glass-coated strings. Yet their closeness rests on an unequal foundation. Amir is Pashtun and Sunni, part of the dominant social group. Hassan is Hazara and Shia, a member of a community that has long faced prejudice and persecution. Amir can move between affection and authority. Hassan cannot. That imbalance matters, because loyalty is never entirely innocent when one person has the power to withdraw safety, status, or belonging from the other. Hassan is brave, perceptive, and fiercely devoted to Amir. He cannot read, but he listens to Amir's stories with complete attention. Amir loves being admired by him. He also tests him, mocks his lack of education, and sometimes uses Hassan's loyalty to feel superior. Hassan is not merely a symbol of goodness. He is a child whose world gives him very few safe choices. His devotion is beautiful, but it is also shaped by class, ethnicity, dependence, and the knowledge that Amir's family controls the home in which he lives. Amir's deepest hunger, however, is not for Hassan's loyalty. It is for Baba's approval. Baba values strength, courage, and action. Amir is sensitive, imaginative, and drawn to books. Rahim Khan encourages his writing, but Baba often seems disappointed by the son he has. Amir begins to experience love as something that must be earned through performance. This is where the kite tournament becomes more than a childhood competition. Amir believes that winning will make Baba proud of him. If he can cut the final kite from the sky and bring home the defeated kite as proof, perhaps he will finally become the son Baba wants. Amir wins. For a brief moment, the world seems repaired. Baba is watching. The crowd is celebrating. Hassan runs after the last fallen kite so Amir can bring it home. Before leaving, Hassan gives him a promise of absolute loyalty. For you, 1,000 times over. But in a deserted alley, Hassan is cornered by Asef and his companions. Asef is violent, racist, and already obsessed with the idea of a pure Afghanistan. He demands the kite. Hassan refuses to surrender it. Amir watches from hiding. He understands what is about to happen. He could step forward. He could call for help. He could create enough noise to interrupt it. Instead, he remains silent while Hassan is sexually assaulted. It would be easier to explain Amir's choice as fear alone. The novel does not allow that comfort. Amir is afraid of Asef, but he also knows that intervening could cost him the kite and therefore the victory, through which he hopes to secure Baba's love. His jealousy of Hassan, his awareness of Hassan's lower status, and his desire to return home as a winner all make silence emotionally useful. In that moment, Amir does not simply fail to protect a friend. He allows another child's suffering to become the price of his own acceptance. He returns home with the kite. Baba embraces him. The approval Amir has wanted for years is finally given, but it arrives, attached to a secret. From then on, every sign of Baba's pride reminds Amir of what was paid for it. This is the novel's first great psychological truth. Getting what we want does not free us when we dislike the person we became in order to obtain it. Amir begins avoiding Hassan. He does not confess. He does not apologize. Instead, he becomes irritated by Hassan's presence, because Hassan silently reflects the truth back to him. The problem is not that Amir cannot forget. The problem is that he wants to forget without telling the truth. He even tries to provoke Hassan into anger, perhaps hoping that if Hassan attacks him, the moral balance between them will become less unbearable. Hassan refuses to play that role. He will not become the person Amir needs him to be. Eventually, Amir hides money and a watch beneath Hassan's mattress and accuses him of theft. Hassan knows the accusation is false, yet he accepts the blame. Once again, he protects Amir. Baba forgives him, but Ali understands that something deeper has broken. He takes Hassan and leaves the household. Amir succeeds in removing the witness to his betrayal. What he cannot remove is the betrayal itself. And soon, history will give him the perfect excuse to run even farther. Afghanistan's political order collapses. A coup ends the monarchy, the Soviet invasion follows, and the country that shaped Amir's childhood becomes increasingly dangerous. Baba and Amir flee Kabul. Their escape is humiliating and frightening, stripping Baba of the authority he once carried so naturally. Yet even during the journey, Baba risks himself to defend a woman from a Soviet soldier. It is an act of courage that reminds Amir of everything he believes he is not. After passing through Pakistan, they begin again in California. In America, their positions slowly reverse. Baba, once a wealthy and influential man, works long hours at a gas station and sells second-hand goods at a flea market. Amir, meanwhile, learns the language of his new country, attends college, and begins to imagine a future as a writer. Exile offers reinvention, but it does not offer innocence. For Baba, America is a place where his social identity becomes smaller. For Amir, it is a place where the past can be made to look distant. He tells himself that a new continent might contain a new version of him. At the flea market, Amir meets Soraya, the daughter of General Taheri. Their relationship becomes one of the novel's most revealing contrasts. Before they marry, Soraya tells Amir about a relationship from her past, something for which her community has judged her harshly. She chooses honesty, even though it may cost her the future she wants. Amir accepts her truth, but he does not offer his own. He allows Soraya to enter the marriage exposed, while he remains protected by silence. The imbalance between them echoes his childhood friendship with Hassan. Another person takes the risk of honesty, while Amir receives intimacy without surrendering the secret that defines him. Baba supports the marriage, but his health is failing. Soon after Amir and Soraya wed, Baba dies of cancer. Amir becomes a published novelist. He and Soraya build a loving life together, although they are unable to have children. On the surface, Amir has achieved what he once wanted: Baba's pride, a respected career, and a home far from Kabul. Then Rahim Khan calls. He tells Amir that there is still a way to act differently. The message is not a promise that Amir can become innocent. It is an invitation to stop hiding. In Pakistan, Rahim Khan explains what happened after Baba and Amir left Afghanistan. He later found Hassan, now an adult and married to Farzana. Hassan agreed to return to Kabul and care for Baba's abandoned home. Sanaubar, the mother who had left Hassan shortly after his birth, also returned. She arrived older, wounded by life, and almost unrecognizable. Hassan accepted her. She cared for Sohrab, Hassan, and Farzana's son, and was given a relationship with the child she had once abandoned. Her return provides a quiet counterpoint to Amir's. Repentance is not presented as a speech or a demand for forgiveness. It is expressed through years of presence, care, and service. But Afghanistan has continued to descend through civil war and Taliban rule. When the Taliban discover Hassan living in Baba's house, they accuse him of occupying it illegally. Hassan and Farzana are killed. Sohrab is left alone. Then Rahim Khan reveals the secret Baba carried to his grave. Ali was not Hassan's biological father. Baba was. Amir and Hassan shared the same father. The revelation rearranges Amir's entire childhood. Hassan was not simply a servant's son who loved him. He was his brother, denied the family name, the social position, the education, and the fatherly recognition Amir received automatically. Baba had often taught Amir that every wrongdoing is a form of theft. Yet Baba himself stole from Hassan the truth of his identity. He stole from Ali the honesty owed within their friendship. He stole from Amir the chance to know his brother, and he built his reputation for moral certainty while protecting the secret beneath it. This does not erase Baba's generosity. It makes it morally complicated. Baba built an orphanage, helped strangers, defended vulnerable people, and worked with dignity in America. Those actions were real, but goodness performed. In public did not repair the private. Injustice at the center of his family. Amir now sees an unsettling parallel. Baba responded to guilt by becoming useful to many people, while withholding truth from those he had directly harmed. Amir responded to guilt by becoming successful elsewhere while avoiding the person he had betrayed. Both men tried to live around the wound. Neither could undo it. Rahim Khan asks Amir to find Sohrab in Afghanistan and bring him to safety. Amir initially resists. He has a life in America. The danger is real. Hassan is already dead, and nothing Amir does can change that. But this is precisely why the decision matters. When repair can no longer earn forgiveness, responsibility becomes less flattering and more honest. Amir cannot rescue Hassan, receive his gratitude, or hear that he has been forgiven. He can only accept an obligation to Hassan's child. He returns to Afghanistan with Farid, a driver who has lived through the war. Amir escaped. At first, Farid resents him. He sees Amir as a privileged expatriate, returning to collect memories while ordinary Afghans endured hunger, displacement, and loss. His judgment forces Amir to confront another uncomfortable truth. Exile may preserve a person from violence, but it can also create distance from those who had no means of leaving. The Kabul Amir enters is both familiar and unrecognizable. The city of childhood games has become a landscape of ruins, public fear, and private grief. And somewhere inside it is Sohrab. But before Amir can reach him, he must enter the same moral territory from which he once ran. Amir learns that Sohrab was placed in an orphanage and later taken by a Taliban official. To reach him, Amir must attend a private meeting with that official. The man is Asef. The bully from the alley has grown into an agent of organized cruelty. His childhood racism has found a political uniform, and the private violence Amir once watched in silence is now supported by power. Asef agrees to release Sohrab only after forcing Amir into a brutal confrontation. Amir is severely beaten. Yet in the middle of the pain, something changes within him. He begins to laugh. Not because the violence is redemptive, and not because suffering automatically cleanses guilt. He laughs because for the first time, he is no longer hiding while someone else pays the price. The beating does not erase what happened to Hassan. It marks the moment Amir stops protecting himself at every cost. Sohrab finally raises his slingshot and saves him. Just as Hassan once stood ready to defend Amir, the repetition is painful. Hassan's courage has returned through his son, while Amir is only now learning to stand where he should have stood years earlier. They escape, but the novel refuses to treat rescue as a complete ending. Amir promises Sohrab that he will never send him back to an orphanage. He then confronts the legal difficulties of bringing an Afghan child to the United States. When temporary institutional care is suggested, Amir mentions the possibility to Sohrab. For an adult, it is a bureaucratic complication. For Sohrab, it is another broken promise from a world in which adults have repeatedly failed him. Overwhelmed by despair, he attempts to take his own life. He survives, but something in him closes. When Amir and Soraya eventually bring him to California, he barely speaks. He does not quickly trust them, respond to affection, or become the grateful child that a more comforting story might have created. Hosseini does not turn Sohrab's trauma into a device for proving Amir's goodness. That matters. A rescuer may perform a courageous act and still have no right to demand recovery, affection, or forgiveness from the person rescued. Safety is necessary, but it is not the same as healing. Love can create conditions in which healing may begin. It cannot command the wounded person to become whole on schedule. This is why Amir's responsibility does not end when Sohrab reaches America. Redemption, in this novel, is not a dramatic event completed in Afghanistan. It is the quieter decision to remain present afterward, to serve a consequence that may never reward him. Near the end, Amir and Soraya take Sohrab to an Afghan gathering in California. Kites rise into the sky, carrying fragments of a homeland that now survives partly through memory. Amir invites Sohrab to fly with him. For most of the novel, the kite has carried contradictory meanings. It was childhood joy. It became the trophy Amir valued above Hassan's safety. It became evidence of betrayal, then a memory of exile. Now its meaning changes again. Amir cuts another kite from the sky. He tells Sohrab he will run after it. Once, Hassan ran for Amir. Now Amir runs for Hassan's son. The reversal is not perfect justice. Amir's service cannot restore Hassan's childhood, life, or voice. It cannot return Sohrab's parents or remove what has been done to him. But on Sohrab's face, Amir sees the faintest suggestion of a smile. It is not recovery. It is not forgiveness. It is not proof that the family has been repaired. It is a fragile opening, a small sign that pain may not have absolute possession of the future. The Kite Runner is often described as a story of redemption, but that word can become too comforting if we misunderstand it. Redemption is not the recovery of innocence. Amir cannot become the boy who stepped into the alley, because that boy never existed. Redemption is not the cancellation of consequences. Hassan remains dead. Sohrab remains wounded. Baba's secret remains a theft. And redemption is not simply feeling terrible for a long time. Guilt can be deeply selfish. It can make us fascinated by our own shame, while the person we harmed receives nothing. It can convince us that suffering internally is the same as making amends. Responsibility turns outward. It asks, what is still owed? What can still be protected? What cost must be accepted, even when no one can promise forgiveness? Amir's later courage does not erase his earlier cowardice, but it prevents cowardice from remaining the final author of his life. That may be the novel's most difficult hope. We cannot rewrite the moment in which we failed someone. We cannot always ask the dead to forgive us. We cannot demand that the wounded recover so that we may feel redeemed. But we can stop using shame as a hiding place. We can allow memory to become obligation. We can choose to stand beside another person when silence would once have served us better. So the Kite Runner leaves us with a question that reaches far beyond Amir and Hassan. If repairing the harm required you to lose the identity, comfort, or relationships built upon your silence, would you still return? This is Soul Pages English, the soul behind every book.